Hello? Okay.
I hope you're strapped in at home, folks, because it's time for another exciting edition of Sprint Vector!
Welcome to Sprint Vector. Before you start racing at top speeds, we'll first need to calibrate our system to match your range of motion. Please follow the instructions on the screen in front of you. Alright, if you ever need to adjust these settings, hit that recalibrate button to your left. Now that we're calibrated, it's time to go over the basic controls. This is the trigger button. It will be used for many different actions in Sprint Vector. Go ahead and press the trigger 3 times with your index finger. Sweet! In Sprint Vector, we call the trackpad the jump button. It doesn't matter where you press on the jump button, as long as you press it down. Press the jump button 3 times with your thumb. Nice job! These are the grip buttons. While racing, be careful not to accidentally clench these buttons in the heat of the moment. Using your middle fingers, press down on the grip buttons 3 times. Excellent! This is the menu button. Hold this button to open the menu anytime outside of this tutorial. For now, press the menu button 3 times. Good! Let's go over the basic action used to play Sprint Vector. We call this action your stride. Your stride will be used throughout Sprint Vector to move you forward like you were sprinting. With good form, you can move faster with less effort. Awesome! Now try it again with your left hand in one continuous... Cool! Next, we'll add buttons to the mix. Put your hand in the... Good work! Now... Fantastic! Now, try it again with your left hand in one continuous motion. Nice work! Great! Now that you have the motion and timing down, we just need to add speed. The more effort you put into your stride, the more speed you'll get in return. Repeat the same motion you did earlier, but make sure to release the trigger past your hip mid-swing. Try to reach the speed marked on the speedometer in front of you using your right hand. Awesome! Now try it faster. Reach at least the medium speed marked on the speedometer using your left hand. Make sure you're releasing mid-swing, past your hip. Fantastic! Great! In Sprint Vector, you can reach maximum speed shown on that speedometer with one swing of your arm. Remember that your stride will be used all the time in Sprint Vector. By maintaining good form, you can go much faster for significantly less effort. And trust me, you'll need that extra energy to pull off all the sweet stunts you can see in this video. Let's get you moving. To skate, apply the stride motion you learned earlier. First, raise your hand out in front of you and hold the trigger. Excellent! Now that you can skate, you should be able to make it to the end of any racetrack. While skating, the more effort you put into sprinting, the faster you'll go. As you go faster, you'll start to see lightning form around your vision. To make it past these gaps, you'll need to be going pretty fast. Use the speedometer under this video to check your speed. Swing harder and faster so you can build up more speed. Great job! You might have noticed that you also have a personal speedometer attached to you. Use it to gauge your speed while sprinting. Turning is simple. Just sprint in the direction you are looking. Turn your upper body to face the direction you want to go. The faster you go, the more control you'll have when turning. The finish line is right around the corner. You can make it. Just turn your body towards the direction you'd like to move. Awesome! Now you can turn and follow the curves of our tracks. To brake, just hold down both grip buttons and you'll come to a stop. Try using the brakes to stop yourself from running off this ledge. Don't pump those braking allows you to control how you want to race by giving you the ability to regulate your speed while running and falling. Next up, let's go over the basic motion used for jumping. Jumping in Sprint Vector is a lot like launching yourself off the ground with your hands. With good form, you can jump higher and further with minimal effort. Put your hand in the glowing area in front of you. Good work. Now, cool. Now, try it again with... Sweet. You can also jump using both hands. Try this. Nice job. Now that you got the motion down, let's unlock movement and try it for real. Try jumping around. Good. Great. Now you're ready to try some obstacles. Let's get you jumping. You will need to apply everything you just learned to jump over these hurdles. Let's jump these hurdles to get to the finish line. You can clear them from a standing position. To get them, you can jump twice. Give it a try. You made it! Congratulations! Now you can jump over obstacles along your way, even while moving at top speed. During a race, you can jump across vast gaps after gaining some momentum from sprinting first. While your momentum carries you forward, you can jump at any point, even if you're already falling. Try running and then jumping to make it across these gaps. Don't worry about jumping before you fall off the edge. You can jump. Now that you know how to jump while running, you will be able to soar through the racetrack and avoid obstacles easily. Now that you know the basics, let's put you to the test. Make it to the end of the track. Excellent. Cool. Good. Awesome. You made it. Now that you've finished learning the basics, you're ready to take on the first race course. If you want to learn more mechanics, try the intermediate tutorial.
Sprint Vector is paid for in part by Vivace by Nikki. And wouldn't you know it, Nikki is a part of the race this season. Maybe they'll finally pay for a better time slot now.
If you're watching Sprint Vector at home, make sure you listen on Presto's headphones. Now with 4D sound, so you can feel the impact just as much as you hear it. The crowd sure is excited for the race to begin. Listen to that roar. We'll be headed to the industrial food production planet of Allgood this year. Home of the super healthy baby food co.
The whole planet just to make baby food? That seems...
extremely efficient. I'm amazed we don't have more planets dedicated to a single purpose. We do a lot of morph warping around the galaxy here on Sprint Vector, so it's hard to know when we're roaming or not. That's why I use Half Mobile.
Half mobile? Don't they just make like planet phones, Mr. E? That's pretty shady.
What Compared to everything else I do, it isn't. We're in for an exciting day. How are you feeling, Princess?
I'm excited, Mr. E. Hopefully one of these losers will set off some of our new traps.
We're moments away from the main event. How are you feeling out there, folks? Ready for the mayhem to begin?
Ah.
Amped, Mr. E! Let's get this race rolling! Let's get out there and do this dang thing! Woo!
Wow, Shran, finally getting into the game.
Not at all, but I just chugged a can of Sidekick, and now everything is vibrating. Our competition is paid for in part by the Corperian Mobile Infantry. If you're looking for a life of adventure, thrills, and danger like you see here on Sprint Vector, but wish there were more guns involved, join up and serve the Corperium today.
I think it's time we took a moment to thank our troops. You know, none of this would be possible if not for the guys and gals in the Corperian Mobile Infantry.
Aw, that's awfully patriotic of you, Mr. E.
No, seriously, they conquered all these planets so we could land the construction crews. Sprint Vector is a proud partner of Morph Post. Why deliver things by hand if you can morph time? Here we go! There's nothing to worry about here on the planet Allgood.
Remember, all your participation waivers mean Sprint Vector is not responsible for any strange mutations. Racing sure can be hard, Mr. E. What can I do to get better at it?
Well, Shran, I am glad you asked. Right now, we have our resident champion Coach teaching all his winning moves in our tutorial courses.
Look at that!
They dash through the checkpoint.
Color me shocked, Mr. E. That's the checkpoint, Mr. Entertainment.
Wow!
There's the checkpoint. Really doing it! Oh, wow. Cool. This is the last section until it ends. In case I forgot to mention it, my fashion line, Shran by Shran, will be releasing a set of jewelry.
And marching! You know what that is? always the next racer. What was your favorite part of this race, Fran?
Part where it was over.
They call this place the Toxic Zone, but you never know just looking at the surface.
Don't worry, folks. The streets are cleared out for the race, not just because of last week's reactor leak.
Sprint past the checkpoint and into the other part.
Streets like these, there's all of them. What's the thing? At checkpoint, Mr. King.
Hey, you, racer. You're looking for us yet? I'm serious, they're extremely helpful. You're feeling like you just can't get up to speed, just think about it. Right there in your menu. Punchy, punchy, that's fast.
That was cool, I guess.
Fantastic! Marvelous.
Sprint Vector is sponsored by Angel. Whatever. Ooh, checkpoint!
And now we know what not to do. Whistler! These are the final moments, folks!
Well, there.
I think that was on purpose. In case I forgot to mention it,
Okay!
look at that.
Face the flame, Kim!
Yep, they're doing it. Sprint Vector is brought to you by...
You know, it's unusual for contestants to reach this checkpoint with so few injuries.
My thoughts exactly. That's some real athleticism.
Or at least some real luck. Oh, cool!
And coming across the line now. Nice race.
These nut bars are disgusting. But if I eat one every 16 hours, I'm always full.
Wait,
We have a lot of races back to back sometimes, and our contestants sure do work up a sweat. That's why we partnered with Andual Body Spray. Now our races smell as fresh as new. Here we go! Grab a hot cup of cocoa, folks. It's looking cold out there.
it's a world full of thrills, spills, and deadly zero-degree chills.
Look at that thing, right out of the gate!
Almost as if there was some kind of booster on the starting line.
Before we added in those power balls, this game was a lot different.
Right
Superhost Worlds to sign up for Hammerhead Insurance. The only insurance company that lets us take out a policy on someone without their knowledge or consent. Twitter! And they're at the checkpoint. And the cruise sends them flying.
Oh, man!
Archie, look at them fly from that boost. Time to turn it up. This is the last leg boost.
Look at that!
Checkpoint. Fantastic. Okay. You've been bouncing in that end. It's a decisive loss for that contestant. It's over! And we still have a race.
I probably have
Pretty
won
rare
too.
occurrence, Mr. Entertainment.
Chasing me.
Let's learn some intermediate skills. While in air, you can fly by extending both arms forward and holding down the trigger buttons on both hands. Just like you're a superhero. You can't jump here, so you gotta soar to reach the finish line. Try and make it to that cliff above you by flying. Just barely missing the ledge? Try holding both trigger buttons. You made it across. With flying, you can make much further gaps than you normally would by just falling. Remember, you can fly whenever you want. You don't need a boost. While flying, you can turn by simply twisting your arms, kinda like steering a car. Point your head and hands in the direction you want to go. Try to make it to the end by steering around these walls. Twisting your hands like you're holding a steering wheel. Now that you know how to turn midair, you can better control yourself along a racetrack when flying. To climb up a wall, simply pull yourself up by grabbing the green handles. To grab a handle, hold the trigger button over the handle, and your hand will snap to the nearest grabbable object. You can't jump here. Try and climb to the top of these walls. Just reach out for the next object. Grab one with the trigger button and pull yourself up to the next one. Alternate your hands to steadily climb up the wall. Good job! Now you can scale up climbable walls. You can also fling yourself up a wall to climb faster. To fling yourself, first grab a handle with the trigger button, hold it above your head, and then throw it straight down to the floor. Release the trigger button on the way down. You can't slow climb these. Make it up the walls by flinging yourself upwards. Remember to release the trigger button midway through your swing when your hand is moving fastest to fling yourself at higher speeds. Deliberately fling your arm towards the ground and release the nose. Look up so you can direct yourself easier. Fantastic! Now you can quickly scale up climbable walls by flinging yourself ahead of the competition. Double tap the trigger button to shoot your glove blast and blow things out of the way. Glove blast the target to open up the path. You can disable mines by hitting them with a well-placed glove blast. Glove blast the target to open up the path. Glove blast the target to open up the path. Glove blast the target to open up the path. Glove blast the target to open up the path. Glove blast the target to open up the path. Glove blast the target to open up the path. Glove blast the target to open up the path. Glove blast the target to open up the path. The glove blast can be used not only to interact with the environment, but also to defend yourself from others. While racing, you can also grab power-ups to augment your vector gloves. Smash through a power ball, and double tap the trigger to activate your new ability. While Nitro is active, you don't need to keep sprinting. Use it to take the lead with minimum effort. Now that you understand these new mechanics, let's put you to the test. Use what you just learned to make it to the end of the track. Cool. Sweet. Excellent. Awesome. Great. Now that you completed these tutorials, you're ready to tackle beginner and intermediate race courses. Or you can come back and try the advanced tutorial if you want to master sprint vector.
Sprint vector is the...
Okay, now let's get to the advanced stuff. You might have noticed these green ribbons earlier in the climbing tutorial. Any momentum you have before grabbing onto the grip stream will be kept during the route. For this grip stream, you'll want to fling yourself across its length, just like you did in the climb and fling tutorial. To fling yourself, grab anywhere on the grip stream, throw your arm back, and release the trigger button mid-swing. Fling yourself along this grip stream to reach the ledge above. You'll need to fling yourself multiple times before you reach the end to gain enough speed. Grab the grip stream, swing your arm backwards, and release the trigger to fling yourself up the stream. Just like climbing, flinging is always much faster and easier than simply holding onto the grip stream. The air brake allows you to slam towards the ground. Braking midair is just like braking on the ground. Integrating the air brake into your races will allow you to reduce the amount of hang time left over from flying or falling. In addition, you can combine flying with air brake to keep forward momentum while dropping. Drifting allows you to turn in place without moving your body. While skating, hold both the trigger and jump buttons down on one hand to drift in that direction. Drift this corner with your right hand to avoid falling into the pit. Almost got it. Make sure not to let go of your drift buttons during the drift. Drift the entire curve of the track. Hold the trigger and jump button on your right hand to drift towards the right. Nice! Additionally, you can sprint with your other hand while drifting to build more speed. You can pull your drift hand closer or further from your body to drift tighter or wider curves respectively. Drift around this corner with your left hand. Drift around this wider corner with your right hand by pushing your drift hand further from your body. Hold the trigger and jump button on your left hand to drift towards the left. The closer you bring the controller, remember, to drift while skating, hold the trigger and jump button down on one hand to drift in that direction. Nice! Hold the trigger and jump button. Great! Now that you understand these advanced mechanics, it's time to put you to the test. Make it to the end of the track. Awesome! Good! Cool! Nice work! Congratulations on finishing the tutorials! Now you should know everything you need to race on any racetrack. If you want to know more about power-ups, feel free to try them out in the Power-Up Playground. If you ever need to practice or to refresh your skills, feel free to play any of the tutorials again. During races, you can smash through power balls to get power-ups that augment your vector gloves. When you get a power-up, double tap the trigger button to use it. This area is a playground where you can test various power-ups on yourself. Go ahead and try out all the power-ups. When you'd like to leave, skate over to the exit behind you. The crash missile disables the locomotion of a racer. If you can hit someone with one, they won't be able to skate, jump, or fly until it wears off. The impulse shot will fire a projectile that grows larger the further it travels. On impact, it will explode, knocking back all racers. Use it to disrupt opposing racers, or fire it at your feet and ride the blast wave. The Hornet Barrage fires off 3 missiles that will lock on and chase opponents down. Each successful hit makes it more difficult for a racer to build and maintain speed for a short duration. The Crash Missile disables the locomotion of a racer. If you can hit someone with one, they won't be able to skate, jump. The Impulse Shot will fire a projectile that grows larger the further it travels. On impact, it will explode, knocking back all racers. Use it to disrupt opposing racers, or fire it at your feet and ride the blast. The Lag Mine will create an area that slows down anyone. The Compressor Mine is a high-gravity field that makes turning difficult and does incremental damage to anyone inside its radius. Place compressor mines next to hazards or big drops to create deadly traps to punish your opponent. During races, you can smash through power balls to get power-ups that augment your vector gloves. When you get a power-up, double tap the trigger button to use it. This area is a playground where you can test various power-ups on yourself. Go ahead and try out all the power-ups. When you'd like to leave, skate over to the exit behind you. The Prox mine lies in wait until another racer enters the bubble, triggering an explosion. The explosion knocks back all nearby racers and disables their locomotion for a short time. The Hornet Barrage fires off 3 minutes. Chrono Shift will warp you to the last checkpoint that the closest racer in front of you has reached. Use it to catch up to the rest of the pack when you're really far behind. Overdrive will remove the limits on your speed. Double tap the trigger to activate, and then start skating with all your might. The Impulse Shot will fire a projectile that grows larger the further it travels. On impact, it will explode, knocking back all racers. Use it. Nitro will boost you to extreme speeds. Double tap to activate, then hold the trigger button to boost your speed. While Nitro is active, you don't need to keep sprinting. Chrono Shift will warp you to the last checkpoint that the closest racer in front of you has reached. Use it to catch up to the rest of the pack when you're really far behind. The Prox mine lies in wait until another racer enters the bubble, triggering an explosion. The explosion knocks back all nearby racers and disables their locomotion for a short time. Nitro will boost you to extreme speeds. Double tap to activate, then hold the trigger button to boost your speed. While Nitro is active, you don't need to keep sprinting. Use it to take a break without losing speed. If you want to play around more later, you can come back here anytime to try out all of the different power-ups.
Transportation for Sprint Vector is provided by Ducat Motors, the galaxy's oldest and most reliable motor company. No matter how many times they file for bankruptcy. Sprint Vector is partnered with Shran Jewelry. If you don't want to look like a total scrub or whatever, you should probably get some, I guess.
Don't be humble. Be awesome.
I don't even know why anyone else is playing. I'm obviously going to win.
If you can't find beauty in this moment, what else is there?
My interest is in precision, not speed. The head of the pack has arrived.
Before we added in those Powerballs, this game was a lot different.
If by different you mean boring.
Now, thanks to all our new power-ups, even our last place racer has a chance to blow the competition away.
Greetings, Captain. My name is David, and I'll be your operator today. Let's make sure your position is correctly calibrated before we begin. Press the left and right thumbsticks simultaneously. All right, now that your view is centered, let's have a look at your left wrist. See the button with the circle on it? You can access your menu options by pressing it. From here, you'll be able to change your settings as well as exit this tutorial. Press the button again to close the menu. Now that we're done with that, I'll just load up your file. Oops, wrong button. Uh-oh. Go ahead and watch this short holovid while I try to recover the file.
For millennia, this little blue planet was the only home humanity knew. But we always dreamed of setting out for the stars. We realized our ambitions when, at long last, we developed faster-than-light technology. Millions left Earth to seek their fortunes. Eager to strike out into the unknown, we explored, forged new alliances, and established colonies across the galaxy. These advances came with a price. The frontier seemed to offer endless opportunities, but it presented new dangers in equal measure. Any challenge we faced, we overcame. We flourished as we spread throughout the galaxy, and soon turned our ambitions beyond its borders, out into the void.
Looks like your file finished downloading. XASA, huh? Says here it's been 5 years since your last certification. Tell you what, I'll just skim over the boring parts and we'll hit the highlights. Let's see. Expense reports, no. Certification documentation, nah. Here we go. Firearms training. To access your weapon inventory, press and hold the Y button or B button on your controller. Keep that button held down. Using your opposite hand, reach in, pull the trigger to fire the gun. If you release the grip button while holding the gun, it'll be holstered at your hip. You can draw your gun again. Looks like you've got the basics down. Let's test your aim. Shoot the robot. Aim your gun at the robot. Nice shot! You can manually reload your gun at any point by flicking your wrist downward. Let's see how you do against two targets that fight back. Got you pretty good. Feel that? Your left wrist unit is vibrating. Take a look. That red bar represents your current health. Looks pretty low to me. How about we fix that? That's a stim pack. Unfortunately, it's just out of reach. Luckily for you, your wrist units can pull small nearby items to you. Things like, nice. Pretty slick, huh? Check your health status now. This is an item rack. You'll find these on ships. They're a great place to store extra items, especially since your personal inventory space is limited. This one has an extra stim pack on it. Reach out and grab it. Great. Now press and hold either the X or A button to save that stim pack for later use. Move the stim pack towards your inventory and release the grip button when you see its outline. Release the button holding your inventory. Yep, you got it. Place your gun at the center of the station and release the grip button when the gun's outline appears. It'll take just a few moments. Once it's finished, you can remove your gun. That covers firearms, so let's put your gun in storage. The weapon won't need that anymore. Easy, right? Now have a look at your right wrist. This button is used to activate your personal teleporter. It can be used when you finish a mission and wish to return to your ship. Press the teleport icon to initiate the teleportation sequence and confirm. never gets old. Now, let's talk locomotion. You have two options here. If you're sensitive to full motion controls, you'll want to try comfort mode. If you prefer full locomotion, use advanced. Use your left thumbstick to move. Use your right thumbstick to turn. If you want to try the other mode or adjust your settings, just access the menu on your left wrist. Remember, press the circular icon. If you're happy with your locomotion choice, let's head to the bridge. Here's a hint. It's the open door. Approach the central console. Notice the flashing holo panel? That means there's an incoming transmission. Press it to open the communications. Currently, you only have one incoming communication. Press the button to answer it. Ha! This is where you'll converse with anyone you encounter on your journey. Since we're at the command terminal, let's check out the star chart. Press the flashing panel to switch to star chart navigation. This is a map of nearby systems. It will allow you to chart your course through the galaxy. Let's perform a faster than light jump. Select the closest star to your current location on the star. Here we go.
FTL fuel reserves depleted.
We made it! Have a look out the viewport. We've run into a pirate ship. Look up at the monitor on the left side of the bridge. This shows the status of the ship we've encountered. To the right, a similar monitor displays your own ship's status. That pirate is jamming your FTL drive. You have to fight. You'll see a new panel flashing on the command terminal. Press it to access your ship's tactical options. Here, you have access to your ship's equipped weapon systems. Some weapons use ordnance, while others consume power. Let's soften up those pirates with some laser blasts. Press the burst laser MK1 button to fire. Let's follow that up with some missiles. This panel allows you to fire a missile at a specific system on the enemy ship. This decision can change the tide of any encounter. Press the Nova Missiles MK1 button. Your ship may take damage during a hostile encounter. This has the potential to cause a hull breach.
What is it detected on your ship? Look at your right wrist. This yellow bar is your oxygen level. You'll start losing health when it reaches 50%. Once you locate a hull breach, it's easy to repair. Hold down either the Y, remove the repair gun from your inventory using the grip button. Just like you did, the repair gun is just like any other gun. Point it at the problem and pull the trigger to make it go away.
Your ship's oxygen level will stabilize after you repair hull breaches. Disaster averted. Let's take a look at your left wrist again. Press the flashing button to check out your ship's map. The map will help you find your way around and let you check the status of your ship's systems. Uh-oh, that's not good. Your tactical system is offline. See the red icon on your map? You can't interact with your wrist display, so head back to the command terminal. The blue pawns represent your crew members. The red icon is your weapon. Use your index finger to select the weapons room. Your crew member will move there. A natural-born leader. When you order crew members to specific rooms, they automatically begin repairs on damaged systems or hull breaches there. The green bar represents a crew member's health. If someone is injured, you can direct them to the med bay for treatment. One last thing, keep your crew healthy. If no organic crew members are left on board, your game is over. It's been a pleasure overseeing your training, Captain. If you have questions or want more details, your ship's manual is on a disc in your quarters. You can always replay this tutorial from the main menu, too. Safe travels, and good luck out there.
Integrity at 100%.
Will you look at that? I've never seen anything quite like it.
This is it. We're further out than any human has ever been. Really puts it all in perspective.
Looks like more space to me.
Where's your imagination?
Focus in on what I'm going to do with my cut of the payout for completing this mission.
Typical.
Don't act like you haven't thought about it.
How far out are we?
Hard to tell, really. We're in uncharted space. Status report?
Engines, check. Oxygen, check. Holding drive. This is strange.
It's an experimental drive. What constitutes strange?
There's a fluctuation in the drive's core.
I don't want this to be a one-way trip. Complete the scans, prime the drive, and jump us home.
Scanning initiated and complete.
Holding drive ready.
Let's not keep the commander waiting. Engage.